Since October of last year, representatives from 6 United Churches in Regina and area have been in conversation together to dream big. People representing our church councils, MMP committees, finance, worship, and the ministers of those congregations have been getting together to talk about how can we do church better together? Are there resources we can share? Are there ways we can support one another? Are there ways we can work together to be a stronger, more resilient United Church presence in parts of Regina, Lumsden, and Regina Beach? And the answer, of course, is yes. There are lots of possibilities for what we can offer one another. For example, both Heritage and St. Andrews have knowledge and experience as part of our pilot project on how to share a minister. Both churches have now tried and have learned from how to lead in-person worship services when the minister isn't present. And I'd like to say that you guys have been doing a really wonderful job of this. So way to go, pat yourselves on the back. So we have some experience and expertise in how to juggle a minister between two congregations. And this is something that we can bring to the table, like we can share what's worked for us and what hasn't, with this larger group. In our coming AGM, one of the motions we will be discussing is whether we want to continue to be part of this collaboration. Are we interested in not just sharing between Heritage and St. Andrews, but within 5 churches total? We're still sorting out what that could look like, and there are several models of cooperation that we're looking into. So we don't have anything concrete yet to share with you. But the question that lies before us is, do we as a congregation see a benefit in working together? Do we find more hope for our future if we keep collaborating and supporting one another? And there will be more information on this in the AGM report. And there is a handout available today that should be on the table in the foyer. If not, just ask Dina because she had them printed out. But I've shared this information with you to give you some background on what we'll be doing in our small group work today. A couple of weeks ago, Reverend Jordan Cantwell, who is our former moderator and who is now a growth animator for the United Church of Canada, she came to Heritage and she met with this collaboration group. And she talked about finding our why. Our why is the transformation that we seek to create. It expresses a vision for a community of faith that includes the wider community and our role in it. So our why is, what is the transformation that we seek to create? Okay, keep that in mind. A why is forward thinking. It's about what you want to move into. So if I were to ask you about your why, like why do you go to church, right? If your answer is something maybe like, to take part in uplifting worship services, well, we're already doing that, right? It's a present thing. It's not a future thing. So our why is something that we should be striving towards. We don't have it yet. We're working towards it. Our why is our dream, our vision of the world that we're trying to create. God has a why for us, a hope for a purpose greater than ourselves. And sometimes we might call that our calling. So we as a church have a calling. And the thing is, to discover our why is important because having a why means having a vision. And if we have a really good why, then our vision will connect with what we're passionate about. And that passion and energy and vibrancy is what will help to attract new people to us. It will also help to keep our members engaged and happy and thriving. People will connect with us over our whys more than our whats and our hows. So if we say, hey, we've got great music and an uplifting sermon message, well, maybe 90% of churches have that. Our whats and our hows don't really make us stand out. Many churches do outreach. Many churches have choirs or children's programming. Those are all our whats, right? But if we can find our why, what drives our passions, what forms our identity, then everything becomes a lot easier. If we know our why, it frees us up to change our whats and our hows if they're not serving our why. It's a lot easier to try new things or to let some things go if they're no longer serving us. If we can align what we do with our why, okay? So even if we're a smaller church, we need to find our why. Studies have shown that when a church focuses merely on survival, then that is the fast track to death. Smaller churches can still make an impact on their communities and even experience revitalization when they pivot from looking solely at survival to living into their whys, to their new vision and a new way forward. And this is for down the road, but a vision actually works when it has three characteristics. Okay, so this is just something to be thinking about in the back of your brain. So for a vision to be effective, right? Here's what it needs to have. 1, it is resilient, meaning it can change and adapt as needed because you never know what life's going to throw at you and at your congregation. So a vision should not be stuck in stone. It should be able to move. 2, vision is inclusive. So that means it can be shared and embodied by all members of the church, not just a few people, but it's something that can be shared amongst the whole group. 3, it is service-oriented, meaning that it serves the greater community, right? Churches that thrive don't focus just on themselves. They look at how they can be reaching out and connecting with the community. So these are the magic qualities of having a great vision. They are resilient, it is inclusive, and it is service-oriented. So today we're going to step into this visioning process by understanding our individual whys. Once this video is over, I invite you to find a partner, preferably someone who you're not currently living with, right? So find somebody new, somebody who can, help bounce ideas off of you, and maybe you'll get to know them a bit better. Okay, so find somebody that you don't live with to do this exercise. You will have 15 minutes to work with them, and each of you will be exploring your own personal whys. So there will be 3 questions for you both to explore. And question 1 is, why are you part of Heritage United? 2, what do you find life-giving here? So keep asking that deeper why, right? It's like why is this important to me? Like, go deeper. And then the third question is, why is it important to you? And here we're really looking for the deeper why. And I invite you to go one at a time. So the first partner will begin with, why are you part of Heritage United? What is your most important reason or reasons for belonging to a church, right? And then your other partner is going to prompt you to keep exploring that deeper why. So it might be kind of like a 3-year-old where you just keep going, why? Or say, can you tell me more about that? Or, what's underneath that? Why is this important to you? That's what you want to get down to. What do you find life-giving here? And why is it that life-giving to you? So each partner will have 7.5 minutes to explore their why, and then Dina will tell you when it's time to switch. You could be doing anything on a Sunday morning. You could be going to hockey practices, you could be doing Sunday brunch, you could be sleeping in, but you choose to be here at church. Why? What is fulfilling your soul when you come here? That's what we want to talk about. So following your partner time, Dina will walk you through the rest of the exercise. So a reminder again, here are the 3 questions I want you to go deep into. Why are you part of Heritage United? What do you find life-giving here? And why is this important to you? Look for that deep why. Now please find a partner and begin.